Finally, for the last part of spaCy, we want to begin with exercise 7. In exercise 7, you should just use attribute extensions, more specifically span extensions, inside the functions which you had defined in exercise 6. So what you should do is extend the noun phrase detection function with the noun phrase attribute defined for the respective span where you find the noun phrase. And then you should test what you did with a couple of examples and see if it works.
5 minutes later.
Okay, after you have solved exercise 7, you can look at a sample solution for exercise 7, which is just in the cell below exercise 7. Next, we look at property extensions, which are basically getter functions defined on documents, tokens, and spans. They are especially used for spans, and as I understand those functions, they are only called on demand when you call the specific property inside your code. So it's not part of the pre-processing to do this on all the tokens in the doc object. Let's look at an example. So here in cell 51, we define a function getIsToken, which basically gets token as input, and you tell, or the function tells, if this token is a color token. And as colors we define here red, yellow, and blue. So after defining the function, we need to define the extension, so that spaCy knows about this is color extension. And then finally we can use it. So we have a document, and then we can call for this document for a specific token, because we defined it as token extension. We can call this isColor property, and this basically calls our function and returns true or false depending on whether the token is in the list of colors or not. The similar thing can be done for spans. Let's not go into details here. The only difference here is that we don't check if token is a color, but in this part of the function here, if any of the tokens is a color, then we return true, else we return false, and we test this function again. Good. The last part of this notebook is method extensions, which are similar to property extensions, but they can be a bit more complex because they can take additional arguments to the function. Here we have a simple example where we have this hasToken function, which gets token, so which gets the document and a specific token as input. And basically this function just checks if the token exists in the document. If yes, we return true, else we return false. We have to register this extension again, and then we can call the function. Here you can see an example for the document. We call the hasToken function, give it the argument or the token that we look for, and get a result from the function. Okay, this is all for the moment for spaCy. The slides were based on the course, on the online course, which you can see in this URL down here. We did not discuss in the online course chapter 4. Chapter 4 is machine learning, is changing your models. So spaCy also provides a very simple interface to do updates on models, for example, to have your own updated identity recognition model, which can detect some new entities. So you need training data, like in all machine learning processes, and then you can update a given model, or just train your own model and then use it inside of spaCy. But we will not cover it in this course because we want to have a little bit more detailed look at machine learning and deep learning with PyTorch and FastAI to see how it really works internally. Okay, so this is the end of the spaCy notebook. Next thing to come up in this unit is PyTorch.